Hey, this is Mac again. Welcome back. I have here an ECX AMP DB, and this is a desert buggy, 1/10 scale buggy. It's ready to run. It is a brushed motor, brush speed controller. It's got a 2.4 gigahertz radio. I believe the intended customer for this would be a young child. They probably recommend 14. I would say maybe closer to 12 years old. I bought this for my 8-year-old son. He has driven some of my other cars. I had an E-Firestorm that he drove around. And I wanted something not too expensive to kind of get started on, and he wanted a buggy. Most buggies are, racing style, and he wanted to be able to also drive on the grass and in the dirt and jump it. So I thought when this came out, I thought it'd be a good fit for that because it's based on the circuit, has a circuit chassis, has more stadium truck style tire size and wheel size on it, so it has a little bit more ground clearance and it's able to drive in a little bit rougher terrain than a standard two-wheel drive buggy. So I thought it was a great fit for that. It gave him the style he liked with the buggy, but the more off-road capabilities of a stadium truck. And I would say for the money, it's a pretty good value. This radio, considering that they're going towards the younger crowd, it fits the young, small hands very well. He really likes the size of this radio, so that's fine. The speed, it goes about, with the stock battery, it maybe pushes 20. I put a 3,000 milliamp hour dynamite nickel metal hydride battery in it. It goes 20 something miles an hour, and it's it's plenty fast enough for an 8-year-old. He's a pretty good driver, but still it's plenty fast enough. It jumps, it goes quick enough, and the speed is great. And so it's not a precision vehicle by any means. It has a little sloppy steering. It's got plastic, tie rods and everything. And then the plastic shafts. I know there's been some complaining about these not be very durable, but the way I look at it, for its age group, this is intended. For its price range, this is basically the step up from getting a toy grade RC. So children go from like the Walmart, the Target, the Toys R Us, toy RC cars, and then for not much more, you can get something like this. And even though it's not, what a normal long-term hobbyist would consider the greatest, for that age group, it's a great step up. For maybe $50 more, you get something that's like 3 or 4 times faster, can drive over way rougher terrain, and the parts are cheap and it's fixable and that's not the case in toy grade. So comparing it to what its intended, use is, it's a great value for the price, for what you get compared to the other things on the market that they would be buying for similar price ranges. I've seen, these giant, more scale-looking cars that go like 10 miles an hour at like Walmart for almost 100, and for not that much more, you get this. My only gripe would be that it came with a LiPo cutoff, in that low voltage cutoff is such a cheap electronic component to integrate into a speed controller. I don't even know why anyone bother making a speed controller that doesn't have it. It's in a manufacturing process, it's pennies. I don't know why anyone would even bother anymore with how ubiquitous lithium polymer batteries are. But that aside, and also nickel metal hydrides are almost more expensive now than lithium batteries. or they're either comparable in price, or sometimes I've even seen them more expensive than lithium polymer batteries. So come on, just give us the chance to, have a better option for throwing more power at this with just a battery without having, you get a lot of more power out of this motor by upgrading the lithium polymer, instead of having to go and get a whole new speed controller. And this is an all-in-one receiver and speed controller, so you not only have to upgrade the speed controller, but you have to get a whole nother radio, a receiver, and then you can only get a certain receiver that can bind to this that ECX, I believe, still carries. So you're kind of stuck if you want to use this radio to get one specific receiver. And so if you want to go lithium polymer and have the low voltage cutoff, you have to get a whole new complete speed controller, receiver, and radio. So that's my only gripe. It's not a big deal, but for my purposes, I intend to just leave it exactly this way. Just have it be stock, have everything stay the same. It's plenty fast enough. And then if my son stays in the hobby and still wants to drive something, I'll either get him something different, or I'll tear all of it out and put it in, and that'll be my choice. I won't blame ECX for, not providing enough power. That's something that he'll just grow out of this and into something faster. But I think that that's kind of how it's set up. They start with something like this and they grow in the hobby. Just kind of like, a lot of times people get into quadcopters or into helicopters. You start with something small. It's not intended to be your long-term vehicle. It's intended to be something you grow out of and into the next phase of something more advanced. So with that, I would say it's a great value. I'm really happy with it. It's been fairly durable. He's been driving it around, and you have to compare it for what it is, so it's going 25 miles an hour. He's banging into my garbage cans. He's banging into my tires of my car. He's slamming into the side of the ramp, into the tree, and it's just bouncing off and handling it because it's going the speed it's intended for. If you take this car and you put, some 4,000 kV brushless motor in it and run 3S LiPo through it, it's going to tear it to pieces. It's not intended for that out of the box. You would have to, and they'd be expected to upgrade the driveline and get better wheels and tires and probably get a bigger bumper, and you'd want to tune the shocks a little better, blah, 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 blah. But just keep it stock, accept it for what it is, that it is the next step up from toy grade, and won't be disappointed in it. And I think it's a great option to have this stadium truck chassis and wheels and tires setup with the buggy body and wing, because it does give people a chance to have the buggy look with the more capable off-road setup. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this helps you make your choice on what to get. And with all of that in parentheses, I recommend this as a great starter RC car. Thank you.